So good morning, everyone. We are going to start a new chapter, which is rotational kinematics. Okay, right? So we will be covering this first topic, which is rotational kinematics and moment of inertia. Now, before starting this topic, this is a totally new topic. So it's fine if you don't have the clear understanding of any previous concepts. But I hope that all of you have a basic idea about class 9 physics, right? Because as we know, class 9 physics is the basic of class 11, right? Anna, where is Madhavardhan is not here, kya? Right? I can't see him. Guys, if anyone can turn your videos, it would be best. Okay. Now, before starting this, right? Let us recall some concepts. Okay. Everyone, please respond. Okay. Now, when we talk about motion, in first chapter, basically second chapter, right? Not first chapter. When we talk about motion, what is the different type of motion that we have studied in class 8? Tell me. What all different type of motion we studied in class 8? Right? Very basic, very basic. Good morning, Lohit. Very basic.
Rectilinear, circular.
Very good. Then circular. Okay. Then rotational. Yes, right? Linear, curvilinear, right? Curvilinear. So I'm taking a very basic case of curvilinear, which is circular. Then rotational. And then periodic motion, right? Now, in periodic motion, we basically talked about oscillatory motion. Morning, Kaushik.
Sir, host में message करना है कि co-host?
Host. Okay, right. Now, I guess all of us have a basic idea about rectilinear motion and circular motion. हम लोगों ने rectilinear और circular motion को देखा है. Now, yes, very good. So, when we talk about types of motion, we have studied what's the difference between rectilinear motion, curvilinear motion. Circular motion is an example of curvilinear motion. Right? Let me fix my laptop. Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. Then rotational motion. So first question that we have to ask ourselves is, so what is the difference between circular motion and rotational motion? Okay, right. Now, when we talk about, let us take an example. When you talk about a fan, let's talk about example. Let's talk about fan.
सर एक का एक्सल होता है सर, एक्सल के रेस्पेक्ट में घूमता है और एक एक्चुअली घूम जाता है सर.
ठीक है. सो बेसिकली कंफ्यूजन है सर, दोनों तो घूमता ही है, तो डिफरेंस क्या है ना? डिफरेंस क्या है? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन सर्कुलर मोशन एंड रोटेशनल मोशन, राइट?
सर सर्कुलर में पूरा बॉडी एक सर्कल में मूव करता है और रोटेशनल में सेंटर ऑफ मास इसका रेस्ट पे रहता है.
So when we talk about circular motion or rotational motion, okay, so think about it. First of all, when you talk about fan, है ना? Fan. Right? Okay. Now, we know that fan is rotating around this axle. Fan is rotating around this axle, right? Yes, very good, Pragna. So I can say, if I talk about whole object, right? This whole fan, then I can say the whole fan is rotating around the axle. But if you just talk about this one point on the fan, right? This one point on the fan. So what is the motion of this one point on this fan? Tell me. Circular, right? Sampada, you got this? Right? So when we talk about circular motion, I can say circular motion is basically a curvilinear motion, right? In 2 dimensions, right? But when you talk about whole system, okay, with respect to an axle, if it is rotating, if the angular displacement, yes, if they are moving, right? Angularly, है ना? If there's angular displacement instead of linear displacement, right? Then it is your rotational motion. Okay, ठीक है? So let us try to relate, है ना? Whatever we have studied, let us try to relate. Okay, very basic. Now, let us try to remember what we have studied in rectilinear motion. So, first, rectilinear motion. Okay. Now, when we talk about rectilinear motion, right, we are just actually trying to understand this chapter. We have not started this chapter yet. Okay. Now, when you talk about rectilinear motion, what are the terms that we have studied? Tell me, what are the terms that we have studied? बचपन से क्या पढ़ते आ रहे हैं? The basic terms. First was distance, right? Ayana. Then displacement. Then speed, the velocity. Then acceleration. Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? These are the topics that we have studied बचपन से, है ना? Rectilinear motion में, right? So if I'm talking about rotational motion, don't you think that there should be terms which is similar to these terms? Yes or no? Or analogous to these terms? Tell me. हम लोग चैप्टर स्टार्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम लोग बिल्कुल भी चैप्टर स्टार्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, है ना? हम लोग कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, जो हमें ऑलरेडी पता है उसके ऊपर कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, है ना? अभी हम बिल्कुल चैप्टर स्टार्ट नहीं कर रहे. Okay, now when you talk about fan, think about it. When you talk about fan, after some time, okay, what is happening? Tell me. When you talk about rotation, I can say, sir, in rotation, right, the object moves, you know, the object moves radially, right, and the angle changes. Yes or no? Tell me, right? The angle, yes or no, है ना? Right? So when you talk about the fan, or just think about your door, है ना? Think about your door, which is hinged, right? So if you move the door, what happens? Sir, the angle of the door, right? The angle of the door changes. Yes or no? So I can say yes, angle with respect to wall changes. So I can say when we talk about displacement, right? It is the angle which is getting changed. Yes or no? Right? So what do you think? What do you think? When we talk about the term, right? Again, I'm talking about distance and displacement on the same term. Okay. So if I talk about rotational motion, I've not started this chapter, by the way, right? It's not the starting, it is basically the concept building. जो हमें पता है already, हमसे relate करके कुछ सोच रहे हैं, है ना? Right? So rotation में. So when you talk about displacement, we will have this term called as angular displacement. Yes or no? Tell me, raise your hand. Everyone, raise your hand. Yes or no? Right? बहुत basic. सबको समझ में आना चाहिए, बहुत basic. Right? What is angular displacement, sir? जितना angle change कर रहा है ना, that is your angular displacement, right? है ना? Right? Yes. So when you talk about displacement, representation को बाद में करेंगे. Representation is this angle theta, है ना? Right? Now, when you talk about speed or velocity, don't you think, sir, अगर हम linear में speed और velocity की बात कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ भी कुछ वैसा term होना चाहिए? Yes or no? Tell me, right? There should be some term which is analogous to, right? Yes, Preeti. To tell me what that term can be. Very good, Pragna. Correct. है ना? Sir, यहाँ पे हम velocity जब बोलते हैं तो वो linear velocity होता है. So यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? Basically angular velocity. Because angle change कर रहा है ना? So angular velocity. Okay. What about acceleration? Acceleration में क्या होगा? Tell me, what about acceleration? Acceleration की जगह क्या आना चाहिए? Angular acceleration. Awesome. awesome, very good, right? So smart, है ना? कितना easy है, right? बहुत easy. ना हम लोग सबसे easy concept को उठाएंगे, उससे अपना concept को build up करेंगे, right? Okay. Now, when you talk about displacement, so I guess displacement is represented by D, है ना? Right? Displacement is represented by D, and angular displacement is represented by थीटा. ठीक है, yes or no? ये रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, ये होता है, ऐसा किसी ने किया. सपोज कि अमित मान लो फिजिसिस्ट रहा होगा पिछले टाइम में, है ना, बहुत पहले, और अमित को है कि ये एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट को वो थीटा ना बोलकर अल्फा बोलेगा, तो हम लोग अल्फा बैठ के पढ़ रहे होते हैं. यस और नो? राइट. सो देयर इज नो लॉजिक, ये है, होता है. ओके. Now, when you talk about velocity, so tell me, what's the formula of velocity, guys? Everyone, I guess we know. What is the formula of velocity? Yes, so it is d.
Displacement into time.
Okay, so I will just write it as x. ठीक है, better. X. So it is dx by dt. Agree? Or ds by dt. Very good, Snake. So what do you think? When you talk about angular velocity, it is represented by omega. Omega w की तरह होता है, it is represented by omega. Now, what do you think? Common sense. Use your common sense, right? Very good, Sohan. Very good. क्या होना चाहिए? What should be omega? Very good, Sampada. Awesome, correct. है ना? ये सब चीज याद करने का है ही नहीं, common sense use करेंगे. Sir, we know when you talk about velocity, linear velocity is rate of change of displacement. So in the same way, angular velocity should be rate of change of, tell me, angular displacement. Yes or no? Yes, d theta by dt. Correct. Very good, है ना? Yes or no? Anyone have any issue in this? Right? अभी हम लोग चैप्टर स्टार्ट ही नहीं कर रहे, अभी हम बस जो हमें ऑलरेडी आता है उसको रिलेट कर रहे हैं, है ना? Now when you talk about acceleration, so acceleration is what? Tell me. dv by dt, linear वाला, which is d square x by dt square, right? ओमेगा क्या है? एंगुलर वेलोसिटी है ना? ओमेगा इज एंगुलर वेलोसिटी, राइट? है ना? हम लोग पहले वो देखें जो हमें ऑलरेडी आता है ना? वेरी गुड. नाउ यहाँ पे एंगुलर एक्सप्रेशन हम बोलेंगे अल्फा. आई जस्ट राइट इट ओवर हियर, अल्फा, एंड दिस इज ओमेगा, दिस इज थीटा. ओके, राइट? दिस इज x, this is v, this is a. Okay, now tell me, what do you think? Here alpha should be equal to what? Basic common sense, basic definition. Very good. d omega by dt, awesome, right? है ना? Which is equal to d squared theta by dt squared, right? तो ये सबको समझ में आया? ये तो सर आता है, ये तो हमें पता है, ये कॉमन सेंस है. हाँ या ना? Tell me, yes or no? Okay. Now I'm just talking, right? मैं बस ninth मोशन की बात कर रहा हूँ. Okay. उसके बाद क्या था? इसके बाद बेसिक टर्म्स के बाद मोशन में कौन सा टॉपिक था? बताओ. इक्वेशन मोशन, yes or no? इक्वेशन मोशन था, right? Okay, so when we talk about equation motion, what was the first equation motion, guys? What was the first equation motion, everyone? Very good. V is equal to u plus at. Awesome. Very good, very good. है ना? What was v? What was v? Final velocity. U initial velocity, right? A acceleration, t time. Now use your common sense. Can I write the same equation of motion, similar equation of motion, in rotational motion? Common sense. Common sense. Yes. If yes, then what would be that equation? बिल्कुल बिल्कुल दिमाग में लगाना था, कॉमन सेंस, राइट? मतलब दिमाग लगाना है, राइट? रटना नहीं है, कॉमन सेंस. वेरी गुड, करेक्ट, ऑसम, स्निग्धो, है ना? सो इट विल बी व्हाट? ओमेगा फाइनल इज इक्वल टू ओमेगा इनिशियल प्लस अल्फा टी. हाँ या ना? हाँ या ना? वेरी गुड संपदा, करेक्ट, है ना? और यू कैन राइट ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू ओमेगा नॉट प्लस अल्फा टी. वेरी गुड प्रीति, राइट? प्रवलिका, अनन्या, ओमकार, अंकित, जोएल, जॉन, Right. Shrikar, awesome. Correct. Anyone have any doubt in this? Tell me. Anyone? Lohit, Sanjana, Zan, Yash? No, na. Okay. Now let us see the second equation. Tell me, what is the second equation? मैं पढ़ा नहीं रहा. मैं कुछ नहीं पढ़ा रहा. मैं तुम लोग से ही करवा रहा हूँ. We have not started our top chapter, by the way. UT plus half AT square. Awesome. Very good. है ना? I'm just revising. So what do you think? S की जगह क्या है? S की जगह क्या है? Displacement, right? यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए? बताओ. Theta. Very good, right? Is equal to U की जगह क्या है? So I'll say it is omega naught, right? Omega is omega naught. Correct. Omega naught. Yeah, omega I है ना? Into T plus half. Expression की जगह को क्या है? Alpha. Very good. Very good. Alpha T square. Awesome. Right? हाँ या ना? Tell me. Yes or no? Can I do that? Yes. Why not? Why not? क्यों नहीं? Yes. And what was the third equation of motion? Yes. Very good, Shikar. What was the third equation of motion? V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. In the same way, यहाँ पे क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं? बताओ, यहाँ पे क्या कर सकता हूँ? Omega final square is equal to omega naught square plus 2 alpha theta. Right? चलो ये क्या है? ये हमने देखा, ये हमने जो ऑलरेडी पढ़ा है, right? क्लास 9th में उसके कॉन्सेप्ट में कर दिया. Now we are going to start the chapter, right? We have not started the chapter yet. है ना? हम लोग बस देख रहे थे कि भाई क्या क्या हम लोग बिना कुछ पढ़े अपने से कर सकते हैं, है ना? I guess all of us understood these things, right? ये basic है, ये हमें already पता है. Okay, now there is one more concept. How many of you know, suppose, I hope all of you remember this, that if any object, right? If any object, है ना? Or if this is an arc having length L and this is angle theta and this is the radius, so what is the relationship between L, theta and R? Tell me. ये relationship याद है किसी को? Very good, correct. That's the definition. Theta is equal to L by R, है ना? And this theta should be in radian. Radian. Yes or no? ये हमें already पता है. नहीं पता है तो अभी पता चल गया, है ना? Right? Okay. Right? Or yes. So Trish, when you're writing theta in degree, then it is by. Okay. तुम दोनों नहीं लिख सकते, 180 और पाई एक साथ नहीं लिख सकते, ठीक है? Right? This is the formula, है ना? Okay. Right. So let us start the chapter yet. Okay. Now when we talk about this chapter, okay, now we are starting this chapter. So first of all, I hope all of us basically know what is the basic terms, है ना? Yes or no? Basic terms we know, right? So let us see how many of you have watched the videos. So first one, tell me, everyone, which of the following is not possible? Super easy, tell me. First one. Right, correct, awesome, सही है, सब कोई सही है ना? First one, right? Super easy. We know that velocity, right? The magnitude of velocity can never be greater than displacement, है ना? Sorry, speed, right? Because displacement is always less than distance. Correct. Second one, in a non-uniform circular motion, right? Non-uniform circular motion. Tell me, everyone. Tell me, non-uniform circular motion. Guys, tell me. नहीं आ रहा है. वीडियो नहीं देखा है, ओके चलो सेकंड वन, राइट, ओके ओके, तो सेकंड वन हम लोग गोल कर देते हैं, वीडियो नहीं देखा है लोगों ने, ठीक है। थर्ड वन, थर्ड वन, ओके, बी, which is following cannot be called as a type of force, ठीक है, राइट, डी, ओके, why not D? Okay, fourth one, which of the following relation is true? बताओ, this is from the previous chapter, जो हमने ये बहुत बार देखा है ना, work done by external force, right, work done by conservative force, ओके, स्नेक दो, ठीक है। फोर्थ भी बहुत लोग गलत करेंगे, आई नो, फोर्थ में बहुत लोग गलत करेंगे, राइट, ठीक है चलो। फिफ्थ, which of the following cannot act as impulsive force? Which of the following cannot act as impulsive force? Tell me. Okay, right, so let us see the answers. So most of you are correct in this and this, ये और ये काफी लोगों ने गलत, ठीक है। So let us see first, second वाला ना, think about it, second wala was not even a concept of this rotation, it was a concept of vector, samajh mein aaya? Now tell me, when an object is moving in circular motion, we have studied this, when an object is moving in circular motion, what is the velocity direction? Tell me everyone, yaad aa raha hai kuch? Pragna, Smarnika, Bhavna, Yash, tangent, right, awesome. And what is the direction of radius? Radius direction to ye hota hai na, yes or no? What is the angle between these two? Tell me, what is the angle between these two? 90 degree. So if it is 90 degree, then what is the dot product? Tell me. अब समझ में आया, बताओ easy था कि नहीं? Tell me, easy था कि नहीं? Yes or no? Right? यही गलती होता है एग्जाम में ना, यही होता है कि तुम लोग झूठ मूठ का, अरे सर ये ओमेगा क्या होता है सब पता ही नहीं है सर, सोचना ही नहीं है, दिमाग ही नहीं लगाना है, राइट। देखेंगे ना भाई, ऑप्शंस v डॉट r, वी नो v इस डायरेक्शन में, राइट, बिकॉज डॉट प्रोडक्ट और क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट का ही है ना, तो एंगल देखना है हमें, गॉट इट, राइट, सो द आंसर इज बी। सबको समझ में आ गया ये, हाथ चालू, सबको समझ में आ गया, ओके। नाउ नेक्स्ट फोर्थ वन, वी नो वर्क डन बाय ग्रेविटी, राइट, इज इक्वल टू नेगेटिव ऑफ चेंज इन पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, यस और नो? हाँ या ना, ये पढ़ा था हमने ना, यस और नो? So and we know that work done by external, like मैं जैसे मैं देखो मैं इस, sorry, I'll just open the video, just pause, okay, right. So suppose if I'm raising this object, and if I'm raising this object, I'm working in, tell me, I'm working against gravity or along with gravity? Tell me, I'm working against gravity or along with gravity? Against gravity, right, है ना, yes or no? So we know that work done by external agent is always negative of work done by gravity, yes or no? So tell me, what is the answer? I hope all of you understood, that's why the answer is A. सबको समझ में आ गया? Raise your hand, yes or no? Everyone got this simple concepts, right? Okay, chalo, okay. So first topic was basic rotation. What is rotation, you know? So we all know what is rotation, right? We have discussed what is rotation, it's a type of motion जो class 8 में आया था, बस वही है ना। Now when we talk about an object, you think about it, when we talked about a motion, linear motion, right? So we studied that, okay sir, linear motion, right, these all parameters depend on mass, हाँ या ना? mass एक बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है, yes or no? Tell me, right, yes or no, है ना? Yes, right. So, sir, if I relate, so I'm having some parameters that we have used, right? In your linear motion was mass, then force, then momentum, है ना? Momentum. So I'll just write as P. These are the terms that we have used. Okay, right? Now, when we talk about mass, what was mass? Think about it, right? Think like this. Suppose an object is heavy. Think about it. Suppose an object is heavy, right? I can say it has more inertia. Yes or no? Raise your hand. बचपन से जो पढ़ते आ रहे हैं हम लोग, Newton's first law. Yes or no? It has more inertia, right? Means it resists the change in motion. Yes or no? हाँ या ना? Right? And what kind of motion? It resists the change in, tell me, it resists the change in linear motion. Yes or no? That is what inertia is. And inertia is nothing but the mass of an object. Makes sense? Yes or no? Tell me. Think about it. How I'm relating the concepts. So don't you think, sir, ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए rotation में भी? In rotation, right? Obviously, think about it. Right? Think about it. If you have a right, if you have two objects, right? One object is easier to rotate and the second object is not easy to rotate. Think about it, right? So there must be some parameter which define this or which can be used to explain this, yes or no, right? Hello? Yes. Okay. Now, what is that thing? We have to think, okay, it cannot be just a mass, right? Because it has to be something different. But it has, tell me, it should depend on mass also. Now, how many of you have pushed the door? Like everyone have pushed the door, right? Yes or no? Right? Everyone. Hai. So how many of you have tried to push the door, right? From different distance? Like axle से पास में फिर दूर. Have you done that? Tell me. Right? Not kick. है ना? For example, right? Suppose this is a door, right? Suppose this is a door, है ना? Right? This is the axle. So if you push from this point, 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 right? Do you feel any difference? Think about it. Do you feel any difference? कुछ difference feel होता है? Right? Practical physics all around us, है ना? क्या difference feel होता है? Tell me, क्या difference feel होता है? Exactly, Suhan, right? है ना? जितना ज्यादा तुम दूर जाओगे उतना इजी होता है, जितना पास जाओगे उतना मुश्किल होता है, something like that, right? Yes or no? Okay, right. Okay, okay. So I can say yes. If we go closer, we need to apply more force. So sir, force तो है, distance है, सब कुछ है. मतलब ये relate हो रहा है ना? Right? It is not कि ये पूरा out of the blue thing है, right? We are applying force, distance. So something is right. There should be some relationship, है ना? And think about it. Does right? Will this right? Will this door give the right offer resistance while rotation? Tell me, will it offer resistance? हाँ या ना? भारी डोर, हल्का डोर, right? और किस डिस्टेंस पे तुम right देख रहे हो? Will it give resistance? Yes or no? Right. Awesome. Correct. है ना? So I can say, sir, right? I said that inertia. When you talk about inertia, what was inertia? Inertia was resistance, right? Resistance offered by any object, right? When we tends to move linearly, yes or no? हाँ या ना? Tell me, yes or no? In the same way, there should be a term. Tell me, right? What kind of term? To define the resistance, है ना? Think about it, right? There should be a term, right, which defines the resistance offered by any object, right, while rotation. Don't worry, I'll send the notes. ठीक है? तो कोई टेंशन नहीं, समझने का ट्राई करो, है ना, मैं आपको नोट्स भेज दूंगा, है ना, राइट। वाइल रोटेशन, ये समझ में आया सबको? सबको ये समझ में आ रहा है, हाँ या ना? हाँ या ना? राइट। सो लीनियर मोशन में, राइट, लीनियर मोशन में जो कॉन्सेप्ट, राइट, जो मास का था, जो रोल मास का था, वही रोटेशन कॉन्सेप्ट में इस आई का है। एंड आई को बोलते क्या है? नेक्स्ट सवाल से, ये आई है क्या, इसको बोलते क्या है? सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया, मोमेंट ऑफ inertia. Okay, it is called as moment of inertia. सबको समझ में आ रहा है, हाँ या ना? Yes or no? Raise your hand. Yes or no? बहुत सिंपल है, अब तक बहुत सिंपल है, राइट? यस। और हमने कुछ पढ़ा है ना, हमने कुछ पढ़ा है, मोमेंट नाम की चीज पढ़ी है हमने लास्ट चैप्टर में। व्हाट वाज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मोमेंट? मोमेंट का मतलब क्या होता है? व्हाट वाज मोमेंट ऑफ मास? टेल मी, मोमेंट ऑफ मास क्या होता है? Anyone? What's the moment of mass? किसको याद है? किसको याद है? Mass into distance. Awesome. Correct. Very good. So I can say, sir, like let us write this. Let us write this, है ना? So, sir, when you talk about moment of inertia, right? Okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah. When we talk about moment of inertia, I. So it is moment of mass. Moment of mass. ठीक है? So when we talk about moment of mass, it is basically m into r. हाँ या ना? That is moment of mass, right? Into r. Okay. So what we will get? We'll get mr square. हाँ या ना? Yes or no? Yes or no? Now we need to understand. So ये है क्या? Suppose I'm talking about this axis. Everyone, step by step, step by step. Suppose I talk about this axis. This is axis, है ना? ये कोई axis है जिसके अराउंड कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रोटेट कर रहा है. Now rotation is a type of. Tell me, rotation is type of motion, है ना? Right? So if think about it, if an object is rotating, will it be in circular motion? Will the point particle will be in circular motion? Yes or no? Yes, yes, है ना? So you should not exactly. So I'm considering a mass. I'm considering a mass m, which is at r distance, है ना? And this should be perpendicular, because when we talk about distance, it's a perpendicular distance. हाँ या ना? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Yes or no? Right? Perpendicular distance. Right? Then the moment of this point, right? Moment of inertia of this point, right? Of this mass m along this axis is given by mr squared. सब कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? हाँ चलो. अमित, नन्या, अथर्व, जॉन, विवेक, yes or no? क्लियर हो रहा है ये चीज? मैथमेटिकली क्लियर हो रहा है कि है क्या? Now think about it, right? Think about it, है ना? How you can relate moment of center of mass also. ठीक है? Okay, I'll explain again. Suppose we have a mass m1 over, which is a distance r1, mass m2 over here, and this is the distance r2. And when we talk about distance, it is like perpendicular distance. पता है ना ये? Distance is always perpendicular distance. ठीक है? Right? And suppose this is m3, and this is a distance, and I'm saying distance, right? Not displacement. r3. So tell me, what is the moment of inertia of mass m1? Tell me, Vivek, what is the moment of inertia of mass m1 with respect to this axis. This is axis, है ना? This is axis, right? Very good, Sampada. Correct. Tell me, Vivek. It is mass into distance square. So r1 square. Yes or no? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Correct. Very good. Very good, Roshni. Very good, Shrikar, है ना? What is I2? What is I2? I2 is moment of inertia of the second mass m2. m2 into r2 square. Awesome. Very good. What is I3? What is I3? Tell me. See, moment of inertia is not moment of mass, like though, right? Moment of inertia is not moment of mass. Okay, समझ में आया? Got it?
हाँ
Right?
सर.
मैंने ये बताया ना, moment of inertia is moment of mass. Okay? है ना? So now when you talk about definition, मैंने ये भी समझा ना कि what's the definition? Definition is it is basically a physical quantity, right? Physical quantity which is, tell me, used to express the, tell me, used to express the opposition, है ना? Opposition toward angular, tell me, motion or rotational motion. Yes or no? हाँ या ना? Okay. So I3 is M3 into R3 square. Now tell me, is this a scalar quantity or vector quantity? Is this a scalar quantity or vector quantity? बताओ. How vector? मैंने यहाँ पे क्या यूज किया? मैंने यहाँ पे right distance यूज किया, mass यूज किया. So mass is scalar, distance is scalar. So scalar into scalar is scalar, no? Yes or no? It is a scalar quantity. Very good. Now, if I ask you, okay, this is a system of three objects. Suppose I'm talking about system of three objects, right? अब मैं total object का, total system का moment of inertia जानना चाहता हूँ, I net. So what do you think? What is I net? Everyone, what is I net? क्या लगता है? What should be I net? Very good, correct, है ना? So because it is a scalar quantity, right? I can just add them. हाँ या ना? Simple, step by step. Very good, very good. So it is m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square. Anyone have any doubt in this? Raise your hand. Anyone have any doubt in this? And a very good, Preeti. Correct. No, right? And so if we have n number of objects, tell me, अगर मुझे n number of objects है मेरे पास, then what can I write? Tell me, then what can I write? Can I write, let's say in that case, I system, है ना? Total system का क्या हो जाएगा? Summation of mi into ri whole square. हाँ या ना? Raise your hand. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Awesome. Right? Okay. Now this is for what kind of object? This is like a point object and a point mass. Yes or no? This is like a point mass. Okay. But when we talk about objects, think about it. When you talk about objects, right? Usually the objects are rigid mass. Yes or no? Rigid body. Yes or no? है ना? Right? Whatever we see around us is a rigid mass, rigid body, right? So when we talk about this rotational motion, Generally, the object that we consider are rigid body. Now tell me, what is rigid body? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by rigid body? Tell me. Can you tell me what is a rigid body?
सर ए और बी एक पॉइंट होगा रिजिड बॉडी में और उसका डिस्टेंस कभी चेंज नहीं होगा परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस any two
Okay,
points in a body
right.
if it will have unchanged distance then it is known as a rigid
Okay,
body.
so I can say relative position. You know, think about it. Suppose we have a point A and point B, right? Doesn't matter how you move this object. Doesn't matter how you move this object. The relative distance between A and B will never change. Yes or no? I and R, right? So I can say relative distance between any 2 points must remain same. Yes or no? Raise your hand. Right? That is the basic definition of. That's the basic definition of what?
Rigid
Rigid
body.
body. है ना? So इसका center of mass suppose यहाँ पे इसका center of mass है. इसका यहाँ पे center of mass है ना? तो इसको कैसे भी तुम move करो, इसको तुम ऐसे move कर दो, ऐसे move कर दो, right? है ना? Right? So position of point A will change. Position of point A will change. Position of point B will also change. Position of C will also change, है ना? Right? But relative position between A and B, relative position between A and B, है ना? Will be same. अब समझ में आ रहा है सबको? Raise your hand. All of you got this concept? Raise your hand. Sanjana, Zen, Yashika. Yes or no? Harshvardhan. Harshvardhan is here. Moravardhan, sorry. ठीक है. So see, I'll send the notes जिसमें पूरा अच्छे से एकदम थ्योरी लिखा रहेगा, है ना? बट समझने के लिए एक लाइन काफी है ना? इसको बस इंग्लिश में तुम 4 लाइन में लिखो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है कि नहीं? Okay, so this is the basic definition of rigid body, right? है ना? Okay. Anyone have any doubt on this? Okay. Now, how many of you have right? Okay. What it is called? It is called as swing, right? I guess all of you have seen the swing, है ना? All of us, right? All of you have seen the swing, right? So suppose we have a swing. Suppose we have a swing. Okay, this is a swing. Now this is not your normal swing, right? What is the difference between these swings? So these swings, instead of chains, right? These swings are made up of rod, है ना? These swings are made up of rod, right? This is your. Okay, these swings are rods. Okay, now tell me what kind of motion, right, this swing will have. Tell me, right? This is the rod and this is the plate. Let us try to understand how many of you understood the concept between circular motion and rotational motion, or curvilinear motion and rotational motion. Tell me. Everyone, socho, what is the motion of the plate and the rod? I'm waiting for the answers. Okay, wait, you can't see it, yeah? You can see it, no? Yeah, you can see it, right? Yeah, tell me, everyone, tell me. Okay, I was not getting the messages. Got it. Okay, yes. आवाज कट गया, yeah. I was not getting the messages. My internet was disconnected, I guess. Very good, very good. So when you talk about, see, we have two objects over here, right? We have two different objects. One is plate and one is rod. Okay, plate and rod. Right? So first plate, tell me, what do you think? Plate में क्या है? Tell me, guys. Circular. Yes, plate is circular. Curvilinear actually, right? No, not exactly circular. It is curvilinear, है ना? Yes or no? Raise your hand. It is curvilinear. Makes sense, right? है ना? Yes or no? Right? Yes, because when you talk about length of breath, है ना? When you talk about length of breath, so length of breath, right? It will not turn with respect to any point, yes or no. So the plate will have curvilinear motion. But what you talk about when you talk about rod is rotational motion, yes or no. Clear? Tell me, yes or no. Raise your hand. This concept is clear. Okay, chalo, awesome, very good. Right. So we know, okay, sir, we understood, right? The main concept in rotation, right? If I have to see something, the first thing that you have to see is what axis of rotation, I and up. That is the first thing that I have to look for. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? Okay. Now, my question is, can we take any axis of rotation? Can we take any axis of rotation? Yes or no? Yes or no? The answer is yes, I can, right? It's fine. Enough. It is just a reference line. It is just a reference line. For example, think about it, guys. Think about it. Suppose you have a disk. Suppose you have a disk, right? Think about it. Suppose you have a disk. Okay. Enough. So I can rotate the disk along the line passing through centered. Hi, Anna. Raise your hand. Think about it. Along with the line passing through center. Agree, right? Or a line at this point along any of the point on the circumference. right? Yes or no? है ना? Or a line which is on the same plane as this, just like this. So I can take any axis of rotation. Yes or no? समझ में आया? So that is why I told you the first thing that you have to look for is axis of rotation. What is the axis of rotation? Any object can be rotated in multiple ways depending on the axis of rotation. हाँ या ना? अब सबको समझ में आई ये चीज? Yes or no? क्लियर हुआ ये कॉन्सेप्ट? क्लियर हुआ ये कॉन्सेप्ट? ओके, चलो, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. नाउ ओके, सो अब तक हम लोगों ने देखा कि व्हाट इज रोटेशन, राइट? व्हाट इज एक्स ऑफ रोटेशन, है ना? एनीवन हैव एनी डाउट इन एक्स ऑफ रोटेशन? मी think about it, because we will cover lots and lots of concept. We will cover lots and lots of concept. Okay, definition क्या है? Definition, simple definition क्या होगा? Tell me, what is the definition of axis of rotation? It's an imaginary line ना. देखो, समझ में आगे तो इंग्लिश में लिख दो. It is an imaginary line. It's an imaginary line, right? Perpendicular, either perpendicular to the plane, है ना? Right? Or perpendicular to the plane of circular paths, है ना? अब जैसे यहाँ पे circular path object कैसे होगा? Object, this disc will rotate like this or this, है ना? So I'll just write the definition, ठीक है? First of all, it is a real line or imaginary line? बताओ, ये रियल है कि इमेजिनरी? हम इमेजिन करते हैं इसको. Tell me. It is an imaginary line. Yes or no? Line, right? Perpendicular to what? Tell me, perpendicular to what? Tell me. Plane of circular paths. Plane of circular path, है ना? Tell me. Of what? Of particles. Of particles of rigid body. Tell me, yes or no? Right? In rotation. Right? Yes or no? Okay? Tell me, yes or no? हाँ या ना? क्लियर हुआ ये सबको? Any doubt in this? Tell me guys, any doubt in this? Raise your hand. यहाँ सुन रहे हैं? बहुत बेसिक बेसिक कर रहे हैं हम लोग, कुछ हाई फाई नहीं कर रहे हैं, है ना? So all of us understood the basic idea about rotation. So I hope all of you have watched this first video, है ना? Right? Okay. Now tell me, what is the answer of this? A body is set into rotational motion due to. Tell me. ये नॉर्मल ऑब्जर्वेशन है. इट इज बेसिकली नॉर्मल ऑब्जर्वेशन, है ना? इसके लिए तुमको कोई चैप्टर पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर तुमको बेसिक कॉमन सेंस यूज करो तब भी ये हो जाएगा. यस और नो? व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट रोटेशन, है ना, जब भी कोई रोटेट करता है तो क्या कैसे रोटेट करता है? टेल मी. थिंक अबाउट इट. नाउ व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट दिस, राइट, है ना? थिंक अबाउट इट. दिस, हाउ इट विल रोटेट. हाउ इट विल रोटेट. रोटेट करेगा ही क्यों? टेल मी गाइस. अच्छा, तुमको एक सिंपल सा मैं एग्जांपल पूछ रहा हूँ. लेट अस टॉक अबाउट योर डोर, है ना? right? I guess all of us has seen the door. सबने door देखा है? हाँ सर देखा है सर. क्या आप भी क्या क्या पूछते हो? Right? Suppose I'm talking about this door. Okay. How this door will rotate? Tell me. How this door will rotate? If you have to open the door or close the door, right? Means the door is rotating. Simple. How? क्या करते हो तुम? Tell me. We push or pull. Common sense. अब यही भी तुम लोग एक mistake कर रहे हो. Now, if you are pushing or pulling, है ना? Think about it. You are applying force over here. You are applying force over here. Is there any other force which is being applied? Raise your hand. Is there any other force which is being applied? Very good, Krish. Correct. Pakka no. Very good throw. Correct. Think about it. Now think about it. Suppose if you talk about this door, अगर यहाँ पे hinge नहीं होता, तो क्या होता? सोचो ऐसे. Physics, right? सोचो अगर hinge नहीं होता क्या होता? लगता है कि hinge पे भी कोई ना कोई force लगता होगा. Hinge के अंदर भी कोई ना कोई force होगा. Yes or no? Tell me. तो समझ में आ रहा है? हाँ या ना? Imagine, right? अब बताओ. अब आंसर क्या हो रहा है? अब आंसर क्या हो रहा है? What do you think? जो लोग डी बोल रहे हैं गलत हो जाएगा ना. बिकॉज वी नो सेंटर ऑफ मास का अगर फोर्स लगेगा तो वो ट्रांसलेशनल मोशन करवाएगा. यस और नो? टेल मी. हाँ या ना? if there's only one force if there's only one force which is acting on center of mass, it will leads to translational motion. हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है ना? Very good, Maurya, है ना? Right? So here equal and opposite forces will act on two different points, right? एक ये हो गया और दूसरा hinge लगाएगा और opposite direction. Because of that it will rotate. Yes or no? I hope this concept is clear. Tell me. I hope this concept is clear. Raise your hand. Right? Any doubt? Any doubt? See how theory, if you talk about theory, now theory is way too easy. It is just concept written in English. You know? Concept written in English. Next. Tell me this one. I'll teach all the theories, right? But I want you to think first. Otherwise, kya hai na? Because I've told you to watch this video. If you would have watched the video, right, then you would understand better, right? But अगर तुम लोगों ने नहीं देखा है तो I won't know na that you have watched the video or not. Then whatever I'll teach, you will listen, then you will forget. Okay, Krish. Very good. Krish ने video देखा है. Very good. जिसका इसका आंसर सही हो रहा है ना उन लोगों ने वीडियो देखा है. Rest, everyone else. Okay. देखो, right? If you are answering two answers, it is fine, right? उसमें confusion हो सकता है ना? Okay. Now think about it. Okay. Before answering, my voice is breaking, guys. My voice is breaking. My voice is breaking. Kya? No, na? No, it's not breaking, है ना? Okay. Now think about it, guys. Up again. Same concept. See, physics, right? Observe, right? Things around you. Now, when you talk about door, common sense, यार सोचो एक बार. तुम जब डोर को खोलते हो तो ऐसा होता है क्या कि ये पॉइंट जो है ज्यादा पहले मूव कर रहा है? राइट? थिंक अबाउट इट. ऐसा होता है कि ये पॉइंट आगे मूव कर गया, ये पॉइंट पीछे रह गया, ये पॉइंट बीच में रह गया, राइट? अलग अलग टाइम में वो मूव कर रहा है. ऐसा होता है क्या? टेल मी. यस और नो? हाँ या ना? Think about it. Think about it. देखो कैसे तुम लोग कॉन्सेप्ट, राइट, इवन इफ यू वॉच ना, तुम लोग कॉन्सेप्ट थोड़ा सा दिक्कत है. ओके क्रिश, राइट, जिन्होंने ए और बी मारा है सोचेगा एक बार तुम्हारा दिक्कत क्या है, तुमने क्या गलत किया है ना, तुमने क्या गलत सोचा. नाउ फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सपोज दिस इज पॉइंट ए, दिस इज पॉइंट बी, दिस इज पॉइंट सी, राइट, है ना, दिस इज अ लाइन. नाउ टेल मी आफ्टर सम टाइम all ABC, ABC, ABC will have what? What? Same angle theta, same angular velocity और same velocity. Tell me, तीनों में same क्या रहेगा? Common sense. सोचो एक बार, सोचो एक बार. Very good Krish. अब समझ में आ रहा है तुमको? Awesome. Correct Krish. अब समझ में आ रहा है तुमको, है ना? Exactly. Angle same रहेगा ना, right? When you talk about this, think about it, right? जैसे मैं यहाँ पे, everyone, think about it. Everyone, यहाँ पे देखो एक बार. Suppose this is a door, है ना? Can you see me, guys? You guys see me, ना? Suppose this is right. This is a door, है ना? This is a door, and this is your. So if I flip it, tell me, if I flip it like this, all the particles are moving, है ना? Simultaneously, which means the angular displacement will be same. So this is same, yes or no? This is same. Now, if angular displacement is same, don't you think that angular velocity is same? Yes or no? Hi, Anna. Right? Okay. I hope all of you know geometry. I hope all of you know geometry. Right? So if you know geometry, tell me this. Suppose, see, basics. एक पॉइंट यहाँ है, एक पॉइंट यहाँ है, एक पॉइंट यहाँ है. Math is there, right? Math is always around you. Now tell me, this length is L1, this length is L2, this length is L3. क्या L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3 है? Yes or no? क्या L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3 है? No ना? Common sense है, ये तो common sense है, right? नहीं दिख रहा है हमें, दिख रहा है ये तो. मैकेनिक्स दिखता है. Yes or no? ये दिख रहा है कि नहीं? सर L1 L2 L3 सेम नहीं है सर, राइट? अब बताओ, ये जो डोर का ये पॉइंट था, ये जो यहाँ से यहाँ आया ए डैश में, यहाँ से यहाँ आया बी डैश, और यहाँ से यहाँ आया सी डैश, ये तीनों एक ही टाइम में आए ना? एक ही टाइम में आए कि नहीं? ऐसा नहीं है ना कि पहले ए डैश आ गया, फिर बी डैश आया, फिर सी डैश आया. नहीं ना, एक ही टाइम में आ गया, राइट? So time taken would be same. Yes or no? So what is V1? V1 is what? L1 by T. What is V2? It is L2 by T. And what is V3? It is L3 by T. Hi Anna. Hi Anna. Think about it, na? Right? I'm talking about speed, है ना? Distance by time. अब बताओ, सेम रहेगा कि डिफरेंस रहेगा? बताओ, सेम रहेगा डिफरेंट रहेगा? डिफरेंट. और हर एक पॉइंट पे डायरेक्शन भी तो चेंज कर रहा है, हर एक पॉइंट पे डायरेक्शन भी तो चेंज कर रहा है. यस और नो? राइट? अगर तुम इतना नहीं भी सोचो तो हर एक पॉइंट पे डायरेक्शन चेंज कर रहा है, सेम तो हो भी नहीं सकता. यस और नो? वेलोसिटी तो बिल्कुल सेम नहीं होगा. स्पीड होता तो हम थोड़ा सोच भी लेते हैं, राइट? क्लियर हो गया ये चीज? एवरीवन इज क्लियर इन दिस कॉन्सेप्ट? रेज योर हैंड. सबको अच्छे से क्लियर होना चाहिए. हाँ है ना? राइट? ये सब थ्योरी है, सब थ्योरी है ना, जो तुमको अपने से लिखना है. Okay, so clear? This concept is clear? Raise your hand. Right? Chalo, awesome. Next. Tell me this one. ये अभी हम लोगों ने अभी डिस्कस कर लिया है, राइट? बताओ क्या होगा? Everyone should give correct answer. Everyone should give correct answer. Very good. Very good. रोशनी फाक, करेक्ट, ये सबको आता होगा, ये इजी है, इट इज बी, है ना, राइट, करेक्ट। चलो दिस वन देखते हैं कितने लोगों ने वीडियो देखा है, बिकॉज आई विल कवर ऑल द कॉन्सेप्ट्स बट आई वांट यू टू वॉच द वीडियो फर्स्ट। A body rolling on a horizontal plane is example of ओके श्रीकर, ओके क्रिश, ओके स्निग्धो, जिन जिन लोगों ने वीडियो देखा है okay, I guess all of us know what is rolling, hi Anna, right, okay, okay, right, right. Now let us observe, let us observe, okay, everyone, let us observe, okay. So suppose I'm having this football, है ना, or football, let's take example of football, okay, let us take an example of football, ठीक है, right, okay, or let us take an example of wheel, not football, wheel, wheel, your car wheel, your any kind of wheel, है ना, very good Preeti. So when you talk about the example of wheel, right, suppose this is a wheel. Now tell me one thing, everyone, imagine, right, your imagination should be way too strong. Physics will be super easy. If you imagine, physics will be super easy. Okay. Now forget about everything. Forget about everything, right? Forget about everything. Just look at this point. Look at this point. This point. This point. Point A. What would be the motion of point A? Everyone. Forget about everything, right? You sit on point A. You sit on point A. भाई तुम्हारा motion कैसा होगा? Everyone. Straight line. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. Tell me. See how easy this concept is. Yes, sir. So I can say when you talk about this object, right? When you talk about this object, then the position of A is changing linearly. Hi Anna. Hi Anna. Yes. ठीक है? Okay. Now, suppose you are sitting on this point. This is point P. This point P. Okay. Think about it. About this point P, if you take any point, suppose you talk about this point B, what will happen to B if you talk about this point, है ना? After some time, right? So this point is actually changing all the time, हाँ है ना? Because जैसे आगे जाएगा, जैसे ही आगे जाएगा, this B will be, wait, I'll just draw. Okay. This will be like this, है ना? Tell me. So I can say, sir, now this point is here, and this B point will be somewhere over here, right? So, sir, the angle is changing, yes or no? Right, with respect to this, the angle is changing. Makes sense? Yes or no? हाँ या ना? B नीचे आ गया, right? After some point, this point will come here. Then here, right? Then here. Don't you think? Tell me, don't you think? Yes or no? This is what will happen. Tell me, हाँ या ना? So can I say, sir, okay, sir, यहाँ पे दो चीजें हो रही है. क्या दो चीजें हो रही है? First, center of mass. If you talk about center of mass, this is center of mass ना, का translation हो रहा है, translation of center of mass, right? And then rotation of all the object, rotation of all the object, all points, है ना? Now forget about point P. If you observe point A, ना, it is better. A के हिसाब से B इधर गया, 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 B इधर गया. Yes or no? Right? Around point B, sorry, point A. Yes or no? Right? So if you're sitting on A, what do you think? तुमको B का मोशन कैसा लगेगा? बताओ. If you're sitting on A, तुमको B का मोशन कैसा लगेगा? बताओ. Everyone, imagine if you're sitting on A, right? तुमको B का मोशन कैसा लगेगा? नहीं, क्लॉकवाइज एंटी क्लॉकवाइज ठीक है. रोटेशन की ट्रांसलेशन, रोटेशनल, समझ में आ रहा है ना? राइट? और P के रिस्पेक्ट में A का मोशन कैसा लगेगा? P के रिस्पेक्ट में A का मोशन कैसा लगेगा? A का लीनियर, राइट? है ना? तो अगर दोनों को मैं कंबाइन कर दूं, तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा? टेल मी. अब समझ में आया? तो ये पूरा एक अलग क्लास रहेगा, इसमें पूरा एक अलग क्लास रहेगा. ठीक है ना? यू जस्ट हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, वी विल हैव टोटल डिफरेंट, यस, वन कंप्लीट क्लास बेस्ड ऑन रोलिंग, राइट? बट आई होप ऑल ऑफ अंडरस्टूड दिस. ये सबको समझ में आ गया होगा? आंसर इज डी, राइट? वेरी गुड क्रिश, सही जवाब दिया तुमने. बाकी लोगों ने जिन्हें डी दिया, करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट, दिस वन, टेल मी. लेट अस सी. ओके, ओके गाइस, बताओ क्या होगा? ओके, so very good Amit, at least you are trying. Okay Sampada, now let me ask you this very basic. What was the basic formula? Theta is equal to what? L by R? हाँ या ना? Raise your hand. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? Simple. बहुत basic. Okay. Now, as the angle will change, right? Common sense. थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाएंगे, है ना? Tell me, as the angle will change, right? So this is theta. हाँ, वही बोल रहा ना? This is L and this is R. Now, as the time will change, theta will change and L will change. R will change or not?
No.
R will change or not? No.
Distance.
Okay. Right. Very good. Very good. So when you talk about this object, okay, right? I have considered center of mass at this point. Yes or no? Hi or no? Tell me. So if I talk about d theta by dt, can I say it is equal to 1 by r dl by dt? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. right? So d theta by dt is omega and dl by dt is v by r. Yes or no? बताओ, सबको समझ में आ रहा है? And what is r? What is r? r क्या होता है? Yes, very good, Dhruv, है ना? The answer is D. Why? Tell me why. बताओ why? Why the answer is D? Tell me everyone. Why we cannot use this? Think about it. First of all, right? Motion कैसा है? Motion कैसा है? What is the axis? Because R is the displacement. Tell me, R is the, tell me, distance from the axis. Yes or no? हाँ या ना? That is the concept ना. तुम लोगों ने मान लिया कि यहाँ पे फिक्स्ड है. Yes or no? That is what you guys did, right? You फिक्स मान लिया, तब तुमने कर दिया. बट यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है ना. It is moving with velocity v. Axis can be anywhere, right? समझ में आ रहा है? हाँ है ना? Clear? Tell me. So it will have kind of rolling motion, not exactly rolling. It will be like this. The motion will be like this. From some point it will be, right? From some point it will rotate. ठीक है? But we cannot find exactly. Clear हो गया चीज? Tell me, everyone, this concept is clear? Yes or no? हाँ या ना? So the concept was, sir, इसलिए मैंने पहले लिखा था axis of rotation. Axis of rotation. So axis of rotation is not, tell me, not given and we cannot determine it, right? This is the concept. सबको समझ में आ गया? हाँ या ना? बताओ, concept क्लियर हुआ ये चीज? Okay, next. Which of the following is not a vector quantity? Tell me. Okay, only one answer. मैंने अभी बताया guys. Yes, correct. Roshni? Okay. The answer is B, delta theta, not d theta. Yes or no? Delta theta. है ना? Right? Delta theta. समझ में आ रहा है? Clear? Okay. Right. So ये सबको समझ में आया कि नहीं? हाँ या ना? Tell me. This is clear? This concept is clear? Raise your hand. यहाँ तक सबको समझ में आ गया? Anyone have any doubt in this? Raise your hand. Anyone have any doubt in this? Okay. So right. Awesome. So आज के लिए मैं इतना ही रख रहा हूँ. आज मैं ज्यादा नहीं कवर कर रहा. Please from next class, right? Watch 7.1 and 7.2 completely. Right, guys? You should not watch the video after the class. You should watch video before the class. How many of you understood the concept better, right, after watching the videos? क्लियर हुआ सबको? सारा कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो रहा है? लग रहा है कि बहुत मुश्किल है? टेल मी. लाइक मेरे पूछने के मत बोलना, मतलब